Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing a super easy sugar skull video. I did this whole look with 3 eyeshadows and an eyeliner. So yeah, if that sounds interesting, that's what we're going to be doing. Before we jump in, please take a moment, hit that subscribe button down below. Make sure you hit the notification bell. That way you get alerted when I post new videos. I've got a couple other makeup tutorials planned, Halloween makeup tutorial. So yeah, this is what we're going to be doing. We're going to get into it right now. Okay, so as you can see, I have half of my face done, and we are going to attempt to make this side look like this side. So we're just going to jump in. I'm just using eyeshadow and eyeliner and a little bit of cosmetic glitter, and we're just gonna do our best to mirror the other side. So to start off, I am gonna find all my brushes. I am using the Morphe Kathleen Lights palette, but just use a drugstore gray. We're gonna be using this gray right here. It doesn't matter what gray it is, you just don't want it to be super pigmented. So that's why I say drugstore. And then we're gonna just take this to map out our line. You want to do this first, just because it's easier to go back and correct it. And I should probably tell you, I just used a light foundation. This is the Fit Me in 112, and it is not my shade, so it makes me look white. And then just set it with translucent powder. You can use like the white face paint if you want. You can even take some of that and mix it in with your foundation to make it lighter. I don't like the way that sits on my skin. It looks kind of streaky. And since I have this foundation, I'm just going to use it. So I can kind of gauge. I feel like these lines need to be a little farther apart. But that's why we use the eyeshadow. So you can see, I'm just taking my beauty blender that I used. And we're going to redo those lines. So that is why we use the gray rather than just going in. With the black. I'm just looking to see. That's probably as even as we're going to get. And it doesn't matter if the lines are too fat, because that will just act as shading for the cobwebs. We're just going to go in and draw our curves. So yeah, any gray eyeshadow. These are probably not going to look the same, I can already tell. It's so hard, especially when you're not doing them at the same time, to get them to be symmetrical, but just do the best you can. It's one of those things that unless somebody was like looking full on at you and really looking, they probably wouldn't be able to even tell. That they weren't identical. So again, I'm just doing the curves. And like I said, don't worry if you feel like it looks like they're too fat, because we're going to go in and shade it anyway, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so that looks pretty good. And I do all of the outline first. At least that's what I did on this side. So kind of got our nose, and I'm still using that same gray. And I'm just going to map everything out. And it doesn't matter if the inside's super clean because we're going to fill that in. This line needs to be a little bit thicker, but I can add that later. Just put it in so that I know. And then same thing. So yeah, all I did off of camera was I did my foundation and powder. And as you can see, don't worry about your filling in your eyebrows because the circles go up to them. Yeah, I start at my eyebrow and just go around, and that gives me my circle. Same gray. Just doing our teeth. I like this palette. I wish Morphe would bring it back. It was one of their good collabs. And do an extra tooth on that side. Okay. And then our little flower. I did bring the circle in the middle because I didn't know how I would be able to do that. Like half of. So I just did the whole circle. But I just center my chin, just drew a half circle was all. So outlining the petals. This is the jaw. Up, and then this one. And these are probably not going to match either. But again, just do the best you can. And I'm just putting swirls. I will go back and deepen those up a little bit. And then I'm going to put a small one underneath. Yeah, like I said, don't worry if it's not completely symmetrical, because like I said, unless someone's like full on, like standing in front of you, you're probably not going to be able to tell. And if you're doing them at the same time, it's going to be a little bit easier. So I just did some lines and some circles up the jaw. Kind of stamping out where I'm putting things. So we've got our outline done. It's all with that one gray shadow. Okay, so now I look, like I said, I think it's probably as symmetrical as it's going to get. It's not identical, but like I said, when you're doing it at the same time, it's hard when you stop and then do the other side to get it lined up. I think it's easier, like if I had gone in and just done both sides together. So now I'm going to take, this is an Urban Decay 24/7. You want a relatively creamy black eyeliner. And again, you can use the little stick that comes in the theater, like the makeup kits that you can get at Halloween. You could totally use that. Just make sure it's got a good point on it. I'm using eyeliner because I have it, and this one's really easy to work with. The nice thing with eyeliner, if you wanted to, you could use a waterproof one if you were worried about it. I am not. But if I was wearing this like to a party, I probably would do a waterproof. And I'm just going over all of the lines that we did in the gray. And you are going to need a sharpener. I just have a little e.l.f. pencil sharpener because you will, unless you've got a retractable liner, in which case you won't have to sharpen it. But I'm going to fix the line on my nose. Do the other side, so just completely, I went too low. I went a little bit lower on the other side, so I'm just trying to make it match. Okay, and then teeth. Flower. This chart's tricky. Just hold the skin as taut as you can. Make it a little bit easier. I found if you do it in one fluid motion, it helps. Okay, so the only part I am not going to outline right now are the petals around the eyeball and the petals on these two. So everything else we will go in. So let's go in with the shading. So we're going to go back in that same gray shadow and just a fluffy brush, and I'm going to finish shading in between this. I am just, and if you wanted to put the spider web, if I could speak, that would be good. The spider web in the middle, you can. I am just shading underneath each line with that gray, and then we're going to go back in with a black. And then I'm going to take that gray up along my hairline on that space. Dragging the points down. We're going to take this gray all the way down. I think I did this part at the very end on the other side, but since we're here, and then we'll shade under the line. And then if you find that you blended too much, just take a cream shadow on that same, or you got it too dark. I feel like the other side blended a little bit each. I'm just blending. Okay. And then we're going to go in with a black. So for black, I am using out of the Alien palette, the Black Hole. I don't know why that's, I started laughing when I looked at the name on that. And go back in and deepen this up, and then I am going to take this in this, concentrating it on the center of each little web. And it doesn't matter if some of them are darker or lighter. I think that makes it look better to have that randomness in there. Okay. And then we'll go in with the pink, and then we'll go back to the black. And you could do all of the black at once if you wanted to. So for the pink, it is Cavity out of the Blood Sugar palette. I tried to pick palettes because the Kathleen Lights palette is discontinued. I tried to pick palettes that weren't. So I'm just taking some pink in here, and then on the bottom of each cobweb, because sugar skulls have color, so we want to have some color. And I'm going to bring that pink down on the side, make sure I got the same, roughly the same amount. Okay, clean that off, and I'm using the same brush. I have a towel in my lap, so I'm just wiping it off like a hand towel. So we're going to go back in to the Alien palette, and you can use any black you want. You don't have to use this black or this pink. You just want it to be a little bit more pigmented. I mean, it doesn't have to be. You could probably, like, there is a black in the Kathleen Lights palette. It's not as pigmented as this, so you would have to sit there and build it up. So that's why I'm going with this black, because it is pigmented and I don't have to dip in as much as I would on a drugstore shadow. But you could use any black eyeshadow and build it up, or you could even go in with the black stick, like the costume makeup, and then I would just recommend setting it with any black eyeshadow that you have, just so that it's, because that is a cream, so it doesn't smear or crease or do anything. I would set it if you're going to go in with that. And you could even do this with the eyeliner. You'd have to sharpen it a lot, or probably go through a whole retractable, but you could definitely do it. So don't think you have to use this black. So I'm just using this one because it's pigmented, and it gets the job done a little bit faster than if I was to use something else. And take it up as close to the water line as you can get it. And you can put the black in the waterline if you want to. I put a little bit of pink shadow in mine just for a little bit more pink. And again, you don't have to use pink. You could do blue, purple, green, orange, yellow, whatever color you want. Okay, so then we're gonna go, there's a lot of jumping back and forth, I apologize. And I'm throwing things. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with a pencil brush, and we're gonna go into Cavity, the hot pink. I did this whole look with the black shadow, the gray shadow, and this pink. And I mean, I used a smidge of the cream just to blend my jaw in, but just 3 eyeshadows and an eyeliner, and then, you know, my foundation and powder. But I did this whole look with 3 eyeshadows and an eyeliner. And then I added, you know, there's glitter and stuff. But yeah, you can do, the glitter is optional. So yeah, like I said, 3 eyeshadows and an eyeliner. So you do not have to spend a lot. Okay, and I'm gonna go in and kind of probably should do this with the gray. I'm gonna map out where the petals are gonna go. So I started one gray shadow, the same gray one we did the initial outline. And sorry, I'm not talking. And this did take me a little bit. I mean, to do the whole thing on myself would probably take about an hour total if I were to time it start to finish. But it's not the worst. Or like not the worst, but it's not the longest makeup ever. And you could do less detail. You don't have to do as much detail as I have. I think I'm going to try and blend that out a little bit more with a different brush, but I think it looks better on this side. I got a little dark on this side, so you can see it does look better. So we got that mapped out. Let's go in with the pink and finish, and I'm just doing every other one. Using the same pencil brush, and I pretty much only used like 3 brushes too. I didn't have to use a ton. And I'm just gonna fill in every other petal. And if you wanted to, instead of making your eye black like I did, you could make that colored and then do the petals in black. I have done that before when I've done sugar skull makeup, and it is very pretty. So you don't have to do exactly what I did. You can change it. And like I said, you can do less detail. I think I got an even number on that side. So we're going to go back in with the black. Now while we've got the pink out, let me do the petals. I'm just doing little circles. And again, don't judge me too harshly. They are probably not going to look the same. But we'll try and make it look decent. That's really all you can do. Just do the best you can. As you can see, mine do not match, so do not get frustrated. Just trying to figure out how many petals I did. I think I have more petals on this side than I do on this side, but we're just going to go with it. Okay, So now that we got the pink on there, let's go back in with the black. And I'm going to fill in my nose, the petals. Put a little bit more in here. Same fluffy brush. Get some color on in the main part, and then I'm going to go in. This is just a ColourPop little flat brush. I'm going to go in and fill it in and make it as dark as I can. So you can see I had messed up on where the line was on my nose, but now you can't even tell. So don't stress out. Like I said, it'll be easier doing the whole thing at once because you can just draw the nose all at one time. Having to split it up was challenging. Okay. And then we're going to fill in the petals. We're going to put some glitter on them so they don't have to be super opaque, but I did want some color underneath so they weren't bare. But if you're not going to put glitter, you can definitely be a little more precise and really make it dark. Okay, so then I'm going to go back in with the eyeliner that I need to sharpen again. So yeah, if you have a retractable one, you definitely wouldn't have to stop and resharpen periodically. But I like this one, and this is a sample that came in a Sephora play box, I'm sure. I do like this Urban Decay eyeliner. It's very creamy. And it says glide on. They're not lying about that. I'm just holding the skin taut. In some spots, it makes it a little bit easier. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing in here. Just going around. The petals. It's tricky on this side. So just work quick. Draw that line back in. Draw that on. Those, now that we're all done. Okay, so now we just have some few little touches and then we're all done. So I I'm going to put some pink in my waterline, just using that same eyeshadow. And if you have a pink liner or you want to use a lip liner, you could. So just a little bit. Make sure it's eye safe. There are some pigments in here that aren't labeled as eye safe, so just keep that in mind when you're doing it on yourself. If your eyes are sensitive, don't put the shadow if it's not eye safe in your eyeball. So I've got the NYX glitter glue. So we are gonna dab. I'm gonna do the pink first. Just dabbing some on each petal, and I'm working relatively quick because you don't want this to dry. And I have, these are some pressed glitters that I made. So I have a pink and a black down here. You can use loose glitters. Like I said, these were loose glitters that I bought and I pressed myself. And this is going to be messy. And there's going to be glitter all over. So if you are not a fan of glitter, I would not recommend putting it on for this, because even like taking it off, you are going to have glitter on you for days. It's just one of those things. And you could do sequins. I've seen where people have done some rhinestones, which would probably be a lot easier to take off. So those are all options. You don't have to use glitter. And then we're going to go back in and do, and I'm just using a flat, this is just a flat Morphe brush that I've had forever. That I am going to have to clean because it has glitter glue all over it now, but this is just a very thin flat brush, and this is one that I generally use to pack color when I do my cut crease. So again, going back in, like I said, you can buy loose glitter if you want to try glitter. I ordered these glitters off of Amazon. Just make sure that they are cosmetic glitter. Do not buy craft glitter. It is important to read that because they do sell the same pots of glitter for doing like nails, but those are not safe to put on your face because glitter can cut your eyeball. So just make sure it is cosmetic glitter that you're buying, because I did make that mistake once. I used to do my own nails and I bought, I mean, you can use cosmetic glitter in with acrylic, I think, but I had bought cosmetic instead of just regular glitter. But just make sure you're reading when you're buying your glitter. Because like I said, you don't want to put anything that is gonna cut your eye. So I am just gonna curl, we're almost done. If you've stuck with me, I appreciate you. So I'm just gonna curl my lashes, and I'm just gonna use this is the Better Than Sex Any Black Mascara, just to put, it kind of helps blend in the false lashes. I put some on the bottom. You probably don't need to because you can't even see it because my whole eyeball is black. And these are House of Lash. I don't know what style they are. They came in a BoxyCharm boudoir. But again, you don't have to do the falsies. I thought it looked kind of cool. This is going to be the longest part. So while the glue is drying, I am just going to make sure that everything is relatively blended. Like I said, I think this side came out better just because it's not as dark. This side I went in with a little too much gray. And gray, you know, on a light canvas, gray can not be your friend. So Just make sure that both of these look. And I'm gonna just brush in here, kind of shade the teeth a little bit. So this is pretty much the finished product. I'm just gonna throw my lash on and we will have a final look. Okay, so here is our finished sugar skull. I'll pick you guys up so you can see. Not too bad. Thank you guys. I know this was a long video. I am so sorry. Hopefully you found it enjoyable. Like I said, 3 eyeshadows and an eyeliner. It's basically all I used. So this is really easy. And this little thing is from the 99-cent store. It's little flowers with skulls that are upside down. But yeah, I think this is really cute. It's really fun, like really easy. If you've stuck with me this far, make sure you're subscribed. I would love to have you. And thank you guys so much. And hopefully I will see you in my next video. Bye, everybody.